have a girlfriend or something like that, and it doesn't work out, and then you go, why did you leave me today? Stuff like that.
Sure.
The day I started loving you again, all words about people. That's the difference between country and western. And when you start putting a rock to it, and they're calling it rockabilly, that's where you got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got an easy place to be in my arms. Yeah, in my arms. I got a simple space to feel free in my arms. Yeah, in my arms. Keep it on the recent, keep it on the now. Give me an easy way out. It's a lovely world that I got in my arms, baby, in my arms. I got a lot of room to get lost in my arms. Keep it on the recent, keep it on the now. Give me an easy way an easy place to be in my arms, baby, in my arms. You got nothing to fear from me in my arms, baby, in my arms, in my
The legendary Ink and Iron Festival comes to Nashville, Tennessee for the first time at the Bicentennial Mall Park at Municipal Auditorium August 6th to the 9th, featuring artists such as Merle Haggard, Wanda Jackson, Reverend Horton Heat, Shooter Jennings, Sharon Jones, and the Dap Kings. Also, the legends of Sun Records and the air-conditioned Big Top Tent, including Linda Gale Lewis, Carl Mann, W.S. Flew Collin, Danny B. Harvey, and Annie Marie Lewis, J.M. Van Eaton, Sleepy LaBeef, Stan Perkins, Rayburn Anthony, and so many more artists, but that's not all. See vaudeville and cabaret performers, along with the nation's top aerial performers, custom motorcycles, hot rods, and custom cars. And don't forget the ink. 280 of the world's top tattoo artists will be on hand for your tattoo desires. That's the Ink and Iron Festival, August 6th to the 9th at the Bicentennial Mall Park in Nashville, Tennessee. Find us online at ink-n-iron.com. We're back on the Rockabilly and Blues Radio Hour, and we just heard Glen Campbell from his Ghost on the Canvas project with In My Arms. That song featured Chris Isaak on backing vocals, guest guitars Brian Setzer, and our special guest today, guitar legend Dick Dale. Now let's go back to 1960 for this single from Dick on Deltone Records. It's Jessie Pearl.
Well, I got a girl and her name is
is Jessie Pearl. Come on. Yeah. Well, I got a girl and her name is Jessie Pearl. She's a cute little thing and I love her, yes I do. Well, I love my baby, gonna tell the world, well I do. Well, I love my baby, gonna tell the world, well I do. Yeah, she's a cute little thing and I love her, indeed I do. Well, Jessie Pearl, come on. Jessie Pearl, well, come on, honey. Yeah. Oh, well, her name was Jessie Pearl. She's my girl. Let's go, everybody. Baby, gonna tell everybody I do. And if you try to steal her, she'll make a fool out of you. And if that ain't enough, I'm gonna get my gun and shoot at you. Yeah! Well, Jessie Pearl, oh, come on. Jessie Pearl, oh, come on, honey. Yeah. Her name is Jessie Pearl. She's my girl. Well, her name is Jessie Pearl. She's my girl. Well, her name is Jessie Pearl. She's my girl.
Our guest is guitarist Dick Dale. Now, among the many questions he gets asked over the years, one of the ones that is most often asked is how does he get that Dick Dale sound?
And how I got my rhythm, I copied my rhythm from Gene Krupa on the strings. So I'd go like that, so people could know where every one beat is. Whereas other people, they just go, it's all the same.
Yeah.
I always go, so that way they can feel the imprint of the accentuation. And then that was the first time. That's why I wanted to make the big speakers with Leo Fender. That's why I needed the big power. I wanted my guitar to sound like Gene Krupa's drums. And that's how that came to be.
Yeah.
And so it was a mixture of the thick-bodied wood of the Stratocaster, the heavy-gauge strings, the Dick Dale output transformers, and the D130 15-inch JBL speakers, and the 3-foot-high by 2 feet wide, 12 inches deep cabinet. That combination makes my sound. Nothing else can. And when they designed output transformers, they only favored highs, mids, or lows, never all together. When Leo wound the output transformer, which gives you your sound, your color, and the power, he made it so that it favored highs, mids, and lows together. There's no transformer out there right now, even with Marshall. Marshall loved the Leo Fender, and they followed his wiring to the T, but they don't have the color and the thickness of the sound because they could not get the presence controls that gives you a certain tonation to give it that sound. Because when I A-B'd, if you know what I mean when you're saying you're A-B'ing something, when I A-B'd, the biggest Marshall made through my dual showman up Dick Dale transformer, it was costing me $15,000 just to fly my stuff over, just the equipment and back. And they were working on my showman amp when I was on the road. So I went and they had a whole bunch of people in the store there, sitting there watching me. And so I started playing through a big Marshall using my 15-inch D130. I said, well, that's loud, and you know, I can cheat a little bit, you know, on the dials, and that way, when I go to Europe, I could just rent a Marshall because they didn't make any more Fenders like that. And so that way, I said, well, if I can do that, boy, that'll be great. Then they brought my dual showman head out, and I A-B'd it. The minute I hit that string on that damn thing, so everybody in the store went, no effing way, man. the Marshall didn't even compare to it.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't cheat.
Yeah.
I spent 3 days in Meridian, Mississippi with Peavy, who loved Leo. And he wanted me to experiment with him to try to make an amp that would sound like my Showman. And the best we could get with transistors, and the best we could get with 100 amps, 100 watts, it would flatten. It just would not go above. And, you know, to make a transistor to do what a 6L6 or 5881 tube does, it would cost you $10,000. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, all of these things are what I created with Leo. And, of course, I started using the reverb on my guitar to sustain the note. And that's it. But it's not related to surf.
Yeah.
Because, once again, I got my rhythms and sound, my heavy percussion from Gene Krupa. And I got it from, I had over 45 animals from all over the world. I had them all. Mountain lions, I raised them from babies. I didn't put them in cages like zoos. They had 50-foot long pens that were 25 feet across, and my African lion would come into my house with me, and she would leap on the bed and break the bed, and I had to put cement bricks underneath and stuff like that. She would try to turn around in the mobile home and break the walls because it was not wide enough for her. Her body was so powerful.
Yeah.
I had my lioness there, my mountain lions there, jaguars. I had hawks, falcons, eagles. I took care of sea lions so that they would stop from dying from pneumonia. I've had baby elephants, I had bears. You name it, I had it, over 45 different species. And whenever I'd come home, the mountain lion would go, wow, wanted me to come into the running pen with them, the cage with them, and everything to play with them. At nighttime, 5:30, my African lions would go, ooh, like that.
Yeah.
And I would do these things on my guitar, imitating my animals. And that's why I said, Jurassic Park, just like a pterodactyl, and
sure.
That's what I think of when I do those slides.
Yeah.
I think of all these animals that I had lived with for 35 years, and I made their calling sounds on my guitar with my hand. And then the next stage was, so the first stage was Gene Krupa, second stage was my animals calling me, and the third stage was me being chewed up in a damn wall wave and spit up and thrown out and spit up and thrown out and washed up unconscious on the beach. And the sound when I was in the curl and the roar. So that was an addition also. But the most associated with was the animals that it comes out of my guitar.
Yeah.
That's why the guitar was called, somebody named it the Beast.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like your beast.
Sure.
That they had visited me, and they heard them talk with me and called to me. Because I'd hand feed them, I'd sit in the cage with them and feed them, frozen chicken necks, one at a time, and just hand it to their mouth. That's how my music came to be. Yeah, when I would be in I'd be in a tube. I'd stick my finger in the wall to hold myself into the tube, and I'd had a sound, and then the roar of the wave as it's just putting me through the meat grinder.
Yeah.
Once I get into it and from body surfing, I was the first person to break a 10-foot board, 11-foot board at the Wedge in Balboa, California, at Newport Beach, break it in half.
Wow.
And I was washed up a couple of times from body surfing there, unconscious when you hit, because you just hit and it breaks shoulder blades. When the surf comes up in the wintertime, they always have ambulances there. People come from all over the body surf the Wedge. So, and that's why I named one of my songs called The Wedge.
Yeah.
It's big deal music.